So let's talk about the similarities and differences of the Beauty Blender versus the Real Techniques sponge slash powder puff, okay? To be completely honest. Hi friends, I hope you're doing well. So I was scrolling on Ulta's website, as one does, and I came across this product and I immediately sent my husband to Ulta. He actually had to have one of the workers go in the back to grab it because it's that new. Because I think this could possibly be a dupe for my favorite beauty tool, which is this Beauty Blender PUFF. I've talked about it all the time. I have used this so many times on my channel. It is just like unmatched. Well, folks, Real Techniques just launched a miracle 2-in-1 powder puff, and boy oh boy, do these have similarities. So we're gonna be putting them to the test today. The reason why I wanted to test this out is because I haven't found a puff that does quite what this does. However, this is $18. So, you know, a lot of people might not want to spend $18 on a beauty sponge. For me, I'm obsessed with makeup. I will drop all sorts of money on things like this. So to me, it was worth it. This, however, is at Ulta for $6.59 or something like that. So significantly less. So I did a little bit of digging. I know they're just little like powder puffs, but I really wanted to make sure we're aware of like what each one does. So I looked this one up. This one's actually patented, which is kind of fun. Mine is, I mean, pretty crusty because I use it so much. So it has this more sponge side. It has this elastic right here. The difference with this one is it has a little space for your fingers if you want to use it. And then it has the classic Beauty Blender shape with like the softest velvet on this side. I was also today years old when I figured out that this is machine washable. I need to wash this in my washing machine because that's just so much easier than hand washing. Now this one is also patented, I read. It's a little bit different, but we've got similarities. So let's open this up. I actually haven't even touched it yet because I wanted to really capture my first impressions on camera with this. Okay, so it has velvet, but this is definitely more fine and a little bit softer. The difference here is we have two pointed sides, which honestly is kind of nice. Same idea with the elastic, and with both sponges, both the Beauty Blender and this one, you apparently can move this over to the other side and use the more velvety side, or you can flip it over and use the sponge side for creams and things. These are both meant to be used dry, so we're gonna put them to the test. I obviously know I love the Beauty Blender one, but if this one performs anything close to the Beauty Blender, I think it'll be great to save quite a bit of money on a product like this, especially if it's something you want multiples of. So let's get to it. I've actually never used the other side of my Beauty Blender puff. I've only ever used the powder. I had no idea that it was reversible, even though now it makes sense to me. So I'm just applying foundation all over with a brush first. Let's do the Beauty Blender side on this side, and I'm gonna switch over the elastic, which, oh my gosh, now you can see how dirty my sponge is. I need to wash this. But I'm gonna press in the foundation with the sponge side of this. I've never done this, but what a great way to use the other side. So there's that side. We're gonna use the Real Techniques side now to press this into the face. I will say this is also a little bit more firm feeling. The Beauty Blender has a little bit more of a cushion, but they're virtually doing the same thing. All right, I'm gonna apply a little bit of concealer underneath the eyes. Okay, going in with the sponge side and using that to blend out the concealer. Typically, I like to use a damp sponge, but this is actually working fine. Okay, same thing with this eye. I don't know if under eye concealer is my favorite way to use this just because I like the bounce of a regular sponge, but we gotta try it out. We gotta try it with everything just to see how they perform. All right, now for the true test, because the way I love to use the Beauty Blender one is with powder specifically. So I'm gonna use my go-to under eye powder, which is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Powder. This is the shade Cupcake. No, it's not, it's Sugar Cookie, sorry. It's the lighter one. So I just dip the puff into the powder like this. I kind of press it into my hand to distribute it evenly. And then I just like press it under the eyes. And the way that this perfectly sets the eyes, I can't even handle how flawless it makes my skin look. This is seriously my favorite. I can't wait to see how the Real Techniques one compares. Okay, so we're gonna switch over the elastic like this. So they are reversed. The Beauty Blender one has the elastic on the sponge side with the logo, and then it's the opposite with this, with the elastic starting on the velvet side. So now I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna pick up the powder in the puff, kind of press it into my hand, and I'm gonna go ahead and apply this underneath the eyes. Also gonna take this into the T-zone a bit. Okay, so this feels different. Like I said, the velvet part is not as fluffy as the Beauty Blender one, but after applying of the powders, it looks virtually the same underneath the eyes and on the face. Here's my skin a little bit more up close. So you can see, I mean, it looks the same. I'm gonna take a brush with some powder and just set the outside of the face. And now I'm gonna finish up my makeup, and I already feel like I have an opinion on this. So I'm gonna finish up my face and then I'll tell you my final thoughts. Okay, so my makeup is basically done. I did setting spray just barely, and I wanted to try and just take what's left on this sponge and just use it to kind of set like the T-zone one more time, which is what I typically do. I just added a little bit of brow gel, and now my makeup look is complete. So let's talk about the similarities and differences of the Beauty Blender versus the Real Techniques sponge slash powder puff, okay? To be completely honest, I feel like I still like the Beauty Blender one a little bit more. There's a little bit more of a bounce to it, and the fibers here are really, really soft. However, I do understand that it's $18, and in that case, I feel like this actually did give a very similar, if not identical, effect. It's more of the feel that's more different, so you're gonna get the same effect with this, but it's just a different experience when you compare the two, in my opinion. I think a tool like this, though, is so handy and so good to have, especially if you're a makeup artist as well. It's always nice to have some sort of a puff to kind of have on your finger while you're doing eye makeup or something, because you can rest it onto your client's face without like disturbing the makeup underneath. So I love using puffs for that reason. So for me, I feel like even though you do get a very similar effect, and if you've wanted to use some sort of a puff, this is a really good one. And if you want a sponge on the other side for the creams, this worked really well as well. So I think the effect can definitely be duped with this, but the feel and overall experience, I feel like still goes to the Beauty Blender. So for me, I'm still probably gonna use the Beauty Blender one, but if you want the effect for a lot less of the price, this is a great option. I wanna show you guys really quick how different the velvets are. See how fine this is? It's just different, you know? Still picks up powder really well and places the powder under the eyes nicely, but it's not an exact dupe. However, again, the effect itself is a dupe for each other. You're gonna get the same effect, just a different experience. So with that being said, it's up to you, you know? I feel like if you are willing, forking out $18 would be worth it, in my opinion, just because this is such a spectacular little tool. It's still my favorite, but I'm happy to see that there's a more affordable option of a similar tool at the drugstore, because I get that so many people feel like it's absolutely insane to spend $18 on something like this. What do you guys think? I want to know your thoughts down below. Is this a tool that you're interested in? Have you tried this one? What do you think? Have you tried this one? What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and hope you enjoyed seeing these two side by side. I'm genuinely obsessed with this style of product. I think it's so handy and I get so much use out of them. So hopefully this video was helpful to you. If you're new here, hi, my name is Allie. I would love for you to join the family. You can do so by hitting the subscribe button. And if you're already a subscriber, but you want to be notified on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, click on the bell after you subscribe and you'll get a notification every single time I post. That's it for me today. I hope you all have an amazing day wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Love you. Bye.